Dak Prescott threw a career high of 15 interceptions this year, and I wanted to know why. And at the end of this video, we'll go and look at some of the numbers and we'll see if we can see some trends. But for now, let's check out the All-22. We're going to be watching Noah Brown. He's going to wind up right in here. All right, I hit play. You can see as we pause it there that Dak has had to push up a little bit because of some pressure there, and now he's going to have to make this throw, and there's going to be a guy in his face here. There, he kind of makes it. You can see he's off balance here, and he's trying to get it in this window. You can see that there's two guys here that beat Noah Brown to the ball. This is a bad decision by Dak. Then we all know Dak gets hurt, and he doesn't throw another interception until the Bears game because he wasn't playing for most of those games. Here we're going to watch CeeDee Lamb in the middle of the field, and you're going to see something right about the 40 that's important. All right, he slows down just a little bit there, and that him slowing down, that ball's already in the air, right? You can see ball's already in the air. He's going to slow down right in here. That delay means he's not where the ball is supposed to be. He should be meeting the ball right here. Him slowing down a little bit at the 40 is the difference between him catching that ball and the defender catching the ball. This one's on CeeDee Lamb. This is a mess of a play. We're going to be looking right here in the middle of the field. We have these two guys who are basically going to run the exact same route and end up here. And Dak's going to throw the ball right there. You can see that this is actually still on Dak though, probably, because there's no reason for him to throw this. The defender has the leverage even whenever he releases it, right? Before he releases it, after he releases it, the wide receiver or tight end, whoever he's throwing to there, is never in a better spot than the defender. This one is on Dak Prescott. This is the second interception against the Packers. We're going to look at the middle of the field and watch for CeeDee Lamb here. Somebody is doing something wrong here. Dak thinks he's going to break in front of him, and he thinks he's supposed to break behind him based on the leverage. I'm not sure which guy to blame that on, but I'm going to blame the guy who actually threw the ball, Dak Prescott. All right, the Giants. This ball is going to end up right in here, but I want you to pay attention to the pressure that comes into his face. That may or may not have something to do with this. Look how slow everybody is on getting off the line. I mean, everybody's really slow. Dak doesn't step forward into this, and I think he doesn't get a lot onto it, and as a result, it's not a very hard thrown ball. That being said, I do think he could have stepped into it a little bit more, so I'm still going to blame it on Dak Prescott. On this play, we're going to look at CeeDee Lamb. He's going to be right up here in the middle of the field. So Dak chunks this one, and he's trying to get it a little bit back shoulder here. That's a pretty hard catch. I don't think the ball is placed super well, and so I'm going to put that one on Dak Prescott. Against the Colts, we're going to look right up here. Stephon Gilmore is guarding Michael Gallup, and Gallup wants to push under him here, but Gilmore is going to kind of throw him down. I don't understand why this wasn't called for anything. I think this is on the refs. And you might be one of those people who hates to put things on the refs. In that case, maybe you put it on Dak, or maybe you put it on Michael Gallup for not being able to run through his route and get to the spot. Or maybe it's just a great play by Gilmore. Either way, I'm putting it on the refs. This is a zone defense here, and we have a slant that's going to come right in here. And Dak Prescott is going to telegraph this so much that he actually throws it behind the defender who's ahead of it. You see Noah Brown hits his hands right there after it deflects off this guy's hands, pops it into the air, and number one is able to catch it and start the return. This is on Dak. This play is to Schultz here, and the ball's going to end up right about there. And this one is actually, I'm going to put it on Kellen Moore. Coaching is all about putting your players in the best position to win, and I think Kellen Moore failed here because he should never have put this guy in this situation. If you're watching any of the plays before, you're seeing that he's struggling. He cannot block the dude that's over him, and so he's got to have Pollard or somebody, a tight end, here to help him. We can see that he beats him right away. It's hard to see here on this angle, but that paw here is going to hit him there, and the ball is going to come out kind of funny. You can kind of see it wobbling. The ball's wobbling there, and that dude is able to intercept it. Amazingly enough, the Cowboys are actually able to stop them there, and I did a whole video about that goal line stand that you can check out on the channel. The interception on this play is caused by the pressure. Dak is going to be forced up. Whenever he's forced up, this guy is able to get his arm on Dak's throwing arm, which causes the ball to sail over Schultz. You can see it from this angle, this pump. If he releases it there rather than pumping, he might actually have a chance. But that extra pump allows the guy behind him to affect this ball and put it over Schultz. That one's on Dak. This is a really annoying play. This is a man coverage, and Dak Prescott puts this perfectly on Noah Brown here. Look at this. This ball is right there. He somehow doesn't catch it, and the dude just happens to be there and picks it up and returns it for the touchdown, literally losing the game for us. And what's even more maddening if we look at what exactly is going on this play. This is all man coverage, but they mess it up a little bit. They have two guys guarding Ezekiel Elliott. This guy goes out with him, and this guy goes out with him. He sees what's going on here, and so he thinks, well, if he's guarding him, then I don't need to guard him. So he just stops there. And because he stops there, he accidentally puts himself in position to win the game. Football is wild. All right, here we're gonna watch Sweat. This Eagles interception is just sort of fluky. I mean, it's a great play on his part, but a lot of times this guy doesn't make that play. How many times do you see it where that guy just drops it? Still, Dak's gotta throw it over him. That's on Dak. All right, this one's simple. Watch him and you'll see exactly what happens. Dak throws this ball, it hits him in the hands, and the ball, there it is, starts to get away from him and totally gets away from him. 31 catches it, and that is totally on Hendershot. Here we're gonna check on Schultz here, and it's gonna come right out here. Titans here are in single high man. Dak throws this ball right here, and he's got really no excuse. There's a dude here that's trailing off his coverage man, and this guy is the guy who actually undercuts this. It's just underthrown. That's all on Dak Prescott, right before the half too. This is another ball out to the flat that Dak just doesn't get enough on, and the dude reads and breaks on, scores a touchdown. That's on Dak. All right, we're gonna check out Michael Gallup up here and watch this play. Dak is going to throw this, all right, when Gallup is turning around, and you can see, Gallup can see him. The ball is out of Dak's hands, and Gallup stops galloping. Sorry, I had to. And his man keeps going. And because his man keeps going, his man catches the ball and he doesn't. I put that one on Gallup. I did a video where I went through 5 or 6 reads that Dak Prescott had during that last game against the 49ers. It was the last one on my channel, and you can go through it and see if you would make the same reads. Last interception, we'll look right here. This one's all on Dak. He just telegraphs it and puts it right there. And it's another one of those where 2 people really could have picked it off, and the second guy does. So down here, that guy should have had it, and then the linebacker ends up picking it up right there, or intercepting it. Also right before the half. Which brings us to the numbers, and I think there's 4 that really stick out to me. The first is what quarter these interceptions are thrown at. And you can see that 11 of his 17 interceptions in the second quarter. And if we widen that out, we can see that he threw all but 3 of his interceptions in the first half. That constitutes 65% of his interceptions for the second quarter and 85% of his interceptions in the first half. That's a pretty major trend. The next biggest trend I see is in the distance to go. And we can see that most of his interceptions come in these long distances. And this is actually included, it says goal, but it's at the 11-yard line. You can see that 13 of his 17 interceptions come when the yards to gain is over 8. 13 of 17 is 76%. That's another pretty large trend. One more thing to look at is what the defense was in. And I found that most of his interceptions came in zone coverage. That's 12 of 17 of his interceptions coming in zone coverage, 71%. A third large trend. And the last thing, I put 11 of the 17 interceptions on Dak Prescott. And I think that's pretty fair. If you wanted to put all of them, I wouldn't have an issue with that, except for the ones to Noah Brown and Hendershot where it hits off the people's hands and they're open and it makes no sense why they should drop it and hit it up in the air for the defender. That's all I got.